Hello everyone, welcome back if you return to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you're new. If you're new, hello, I'm Shikio Sendo. I play video games for fun, and I write under the pen name JW Ashtier. If you're interested in any fantasy stories using global mythology with a sapphic main character, feel free to check the link in the description. It will take you to an Amazon listing in which you can buy my book. About $5, so do not feel that you need to, but I would personally appreciate if you do. I am a personal self-published author, so I kind of need to do these little videos to get the word out about my book. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in it. Take care. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new Let's Play. This is in Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Now, for those who don't know, I am a major fan of the Legacy of Kain franchise. It is one of the very first games I played as a kid. Should not have played this game as a kid, but I have such fond memories of it. It is one of my favorite games in the entire world. I am really glad to see that they've made it into, they've remastered it with better quality. And now, I played a little bit of it. I thought I'd recorded this up before, didn't, so yeah. Now, before we go on, I'm going to mention a little bit about this game real quick because this game rocks, and I hope you all enjoy as much as I do. Now then, to explain. The Legacy of Kain franchise was a game that was released around 99 to 2000s, but there was a game that came out before called Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. Is the story of the titular Kain and his rise to power as a new fledgling vampire. It is on the PSN, and I do plan on doing a Let's Play of it. Now, I have done a Let's Play of the original before, but that was back on my absolute crap recorder. So if you want to hear high pitched, squeaky young Shikio, you can go check it out. However, I do plan on doing a more modernized version of it because this series deserves all the love in the world. Um, this is the sequel to Blood Omen, telling the story of Raziel, who is one of who we'll find out a little bit more as we progress. Um, I do fully plan on doing a Blood Omen playthrough, like I said. I had originally intended for that to be something I'd do before this. However, Blood Omen is a very long game, and I would not have been able to get a Let's Play out in between the time of Blood Omen's release on the PSN and this remaster on the PlayStation. PS5, Xbox, Switch, and Steam. Check the description for the full consoles that is available on. So I decided I'm going to do this first because this is, like I said, the first game I played, and I really want to play through it again. This game is very much similar to the Spyro Reignited trilogy. It is a graphical update with a few new features. I'll actually go into the options to show you some of them. A compass, which you don't really need. You can get hints, interaction hints, um, adjust the sound. You can even change the language. Um, this game came out before subtitles were mainstay in most games, so now we can turn them on, which is cool. We have controller configurations, basic stuff. Um, there's also a photo mode, which I'm going to have fun with. So we'll go into that when we get to that. But for the most part, I hope you're ready. I will stop every so often to give some back lore and connections to Kain, or Blood Omen, Kain, and all that. Um, basically, just to give sort of descriptions to what you need to know going in. For now, all you really know is that it has been centuries since Kain became what he is. During the original, Kain had a choice to sacrifice himself for the greater good of Nosgoth, or to rule it as a vampire demigod, basically. He is the only vampire in existence, at that point in time, and things get interesting. So yeah, this story takes place canonically if you chose the bad ending, which is Kain refusing the sacrifice. I will explain more about the lore as we progress, but for now, let's start.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow. Until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy. I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver. My angel of death.
Alrighty then. I'm gonna start turning off my little guy whenever there's a cutscene like that. Now then, to explain a little bit more about the lore, because this is actually really important. Kain's empire sat at the base of the pillars of Nosgoth. We don't know much about the origins right now of the pillars, but what we do know is that the pillars would call out to newborn people, 9 of them, and they would each be assigned to one of the core principles that governed the land. There was the mind, dimension, conflict, nature, balance, energy, time, states, and death. During Kain's adventures, he was discovered to have been a part of a plot when he was a human. And his death was orchestrated basically to corrupt the pillars. The previous Balance Guardian, Raziel, died, and as she was dying, Kain was being born. This is how new Guardians are chosen. So Kain became the next Balance Guardian. However, he did not know this because there was no way to know. The entire circle was driven insane. It was driven insane because Ariel's lover, Nabraptor, the Guardian of the Mind, believed that someone amongst the circle had betrayed them. In his grief and insanity, he lashed out and basically poisoned the mind of everyone. Even Kain was tainted at the moment of his birth because of this. Don't know much beyond that, besides the fact that Kain went on a journey to kill every single one of the Guardian members, bring back an artifact that represented their status as a Guardian, and heal the pillar. Kain, however, when he discovered he was the new Balance Guardian who also needed to sacrifice himself, realized, no, fuck this. My entire life was plotted for this moment. I'm not gonna do it. And he rose up as the dark god that rules the world. Kain and Raziel's brothers are the only vampires in existence, and even technically then, Raziel's brothers are all children of Kain. So yeah. The reason why Raziel was thrown into the abyss is because he developed wings. Traditionally speaking, it was we'll go do this while I do this. It was a tradition, or not tradition, a unspoken law that Kain would be the first to go into the state of rest, emerge the new gift, then years later, the other vampires would follow. His children would follow. The cloven hands and feet are all indications of these evolutions. So, yeah. Raziel, however, had the audacity to grow wings first, before Kain did. So yeah. Also, we can switch between the original graphics and the modern graphics at any point in time. Here's what the game used to look like on the PS1. Yeah. Quite an increase. Alright, let's go. Enough of me explaining, let's actually get to the game. As I said, I will be doing a Blood Omen playthrough where we'll get to see some of this stuff happen.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
Fast travel spots. You always have to stand on them to activate them. Now, when my little guy disappears, it'll be because of a cutscene that is decently long. Some cutscenes I will keep him up because look at my little guy. He's so cute. Alright, Alright, there's a spot we need to get to because, yeah.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
Nom nom. I will also be explaining a little bit of the hierarchy of Kain's empire as well once we get to a certain point. Whoop, there we go. Whee. I don't love this game. This was a game I used to play all the time as a kid.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Yeah. By the by, the voice of the Elder God is Tony J, who sadly passed away in 2006, I want to say. Or 2009, sorry. And Raziel is voiced by Michael Bay. Kain is voiced by Simon Templeman. These three are just, great voice actors. And it was this game and their acting performance that inspired me to be essentially get into stories and become a writer eventually. So yeah.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
As a fun side note, Slua are an actual supernatural entity in mythology from Ireland and Scotland. They're the spirits of the unforgiven dead. So people who have died, committed a crime, and were never forgiven, they are tortured to these foul, scuttling beasts. Why are you running? Why are you running? Jeez. Control's a bit weird. They are a bit old, so. Come here, Slua. There we go. Hop, hop.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Hey.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
Thank you, Elder God. Oh, gods. The transition time between shifting is actually really good. In the first one, it was really slow.
You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
Possible missable trophy, by the way. Fall into the water at least once and die, and you'll get a trophy. But I already got that, so it doesn't really matter.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood?
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
So, interesting thing about this, I want to point this out. See if I can get close to see them. Alright, actually it's a really good image. Here's what, I'm gonna do this every time we come across a new enemy, by the way. Here's what they look like now. Really nicely designed. Here's what they used to look like. Yeah. So I used to believe that the Dumahian were, just sort of fused with their armor. But they aren't. There is something I want to look up real quickly. I'm trying to find where it's at. As one of Kain's children, by the way, Duma was one of the ones that threw Raziel into the abyss. I'm trying to find a full list of them. Here we go. Okay. But, let's see if I can find it. I don't see it, huh? Oh well.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Bring it. This is actually a great place to get another trophy. If you're going for trophies. Throw one of these guys into the, throw that block, then crouch and press square on them to crush them with the block.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Oh, genius. Yeah, if you just crouch and press, yeah. If there's a trophy to switch from.
Your prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
So as a fun side note, the original Soul Reaver also was released with a comic book in conjunction. It basically told the story of Soul Reaver with some original concept that did not make the original game. Raziel actually knew of Kain's betrayal before the events had happened because a creature, a priestess he killed, warned him. But Raziel, yeah.
The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
Alright, so as I was trying to say, the original story basically had, or the original bit, Raziel did not believe the Oracle's warning and believed that Kain would never betray him. And yeah. Alright, so, fun little things. Up here we have the sigils of the clans up here. We have Raziel's in red, Duma right out behind him, and Zephon. Over here we have Turel, Rahab, and Malchiah. Now there is some debate about the order of which Kain chose his children. We only know two for certain, Raziel and Malchiah's positions. Raziel was firstborn, and Malchiah was last. My belief is Raziel was first, followed by followed by Turel, who was also one of the other people who threw Raziel into the abyss, followed by Duma. If we're going in that order, it would be Rahab, Zephon, and Malchiah. You can see this based off of how we basically interact with them later. Now, some fun little thing, hopefully I can see it. A new Dumahian look. Every vampire will have, except for the first two we just saw, will have what clan they belong to on their back. This way you can tell whose offspring they are. It even appeared in some locations in the original graphics. So that's how we know this is the Dumahian, besides the obvious look. Alright. Where are you? I love that. Just hold triangle when you're near an enemy, when you're facing the direction of an enemy, you'll just yeet it. There. If you're quick enough, you need new stealth kills. Now, there is an unmissable trophy. Well, not missable, but easy to overlook trophy. Beat that Dumahian into submission. Crap. Just like this. And take him to the abyss and throw him in. These represent cliff doors. Or not cliff doors, portal doors. To be able to tell where you are based off the symbol at the back. Obviously, that's the abyss. Alrighty then, let's continue. I love doing that.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Alright, so fun little side note. You may notice that there's a thick cloud above us. During the opening cutscene, feel free to go check it out, you may notice in the background two things, specifically in that direction. One is sort of a Tower of Babel twisted tower. The other is just a straight up pillar. That straight up pillar is actually a smokestack that belches out continual cloud cover. It's placed on top of an active volcano, so it does that. That is the domain of Trellian. And basically, Trell was charged by Kain to get rid of the sun, and he did. The other one, that's, we'll get to later. Hi, what's up? Also, our body slowly decays over time because we're a rotting corpse, so our HP disappears. Come on. We also do know a little bit about the hierarchy of Raziel, Kain, and all of them. Raziel and his brethren. They were basically rich, diplomatic nobles. They would very often just send out their children to be slaughtered. Assassination attempts were very common, even though they doubted they would actually work on the nobles. And that was frowned upon, by the way. Trying to kill Raziel or Tuba or Turel was frowned upon. Killing the children, though, that didn't matter to them. Killing the fledglings, I should say.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Yep. And Raziel sadly lost his clan. Mythical feature, by the way, if you have a torch, go up to a fire source, square. Unfortunately, you can't really get, what's looking for here? Razelian territory. You can't kill people with just the stick portion of it, which is kind of sad. It's basically a wooden stick, just right in the heart, you know? But, you can always reignite this whenever you come across a bonfire. And they're around. You can find a fair few of them each, I think in each territory, with the exception of, I think, one of them. Or do I? Oh. Right here. Wow. The trophy to ignite, I think, like 10 of them, impale 10 of them. Something like that. I'll work on those annoying trophies later. This game is very easy to beat. You can easily beat it in under 3 to 4 hours. You cheeky dickwalker. But I'm gonna try and, you know, savor this game because, again, my favorite game. I had it on the PS1, the PS3, definitely PS2 as well with some of them. So yeah, I really love the series, and I hope, I pray, like seriously pray that we get some a continuation of the franchise because it left on a cliffhanger.
No! Please!
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
Alright, let's see if we can figure out who they are. Oh, it's actually in the distance. No. The back. That is the Citadel of Malkaya. And here's what they originally looked like. Obviously, yeah. Because that's what the human used to look like. Yeah. I'm really glad with the technical upgrades. Jeez, you can really see a lot of detail with these designs. They did a great job. Soul. Into the fire. I'll explain why they are very decayed corpses in a minute. Alright, ignore him. He is a vampire hunter. He's also not moving at all. We're going to ignore him for now. This actually will be useful later on.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Malkaya's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Yes. Come on. Give me stuff. I will go into greater detail about how Kain made his vampires, by the way. His lieutenants. He actually did a very unique way of doing it. But I can't do that without spoiling certain things. So I'm going to wait until a little bit later. Actually, I might be able to do a little bit of it.
My brother Malkaya was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Kain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
All right. Let's get these flame sacks of skin. Gimme. Alright, so to explain this is actually kind of interesting. Let's get Micaiah in here, because he's actually a good, jeez. Actually a really good upgrade. He's a really good example of this. So let's hide UI. So, Kain performed a unique variation of the vampirism ritual. Usually, based off of the original concepts, or the original vampires, I should say, the blood curse would transfer through the usual stereotypical ways, you know, feeding blood, you know, the usual stuff. Kain, however, was made a vampire in a very unique way. His soul was grabbed from the abyss by the necromancer Mortanius, guardian of the Pillar of Death. Because of this, Kain's a unique vampire. He's not cursed by the blood curse, although he still needs to feed because he is a vampire. So his method of making children, or making his scions? No. His descendants, there we go, was very similar as well. He would do a necromantic ritual to raise the dead. What he would do is he would take a portion of his soul, put it into the body of one of his chosen vampire, or soon-to-be vampire, and use that as a lure to bring the original soul back to the body. This would, in turn, corrupt the soul, or corrupt the body, making it into a vampire, and give them immortality. Since Raziel was the firstborn, he got a huge portion of Kain's soul, which is why he is so powerful, and why he was Kain's right-hand man. But as it went down, it was cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, until Malchiah. Malchiah received the treasures of Kain's gift. And so basically it was enough to reanimate the body, but the body was so decayed and so not great, it was basically in a constant state of decay and vampiric healing. You can see it in the opening cutscene a little bit, as well as some render arts. But what Malchiah would do is he would take his victims, feed off them, and if they were particularly handsome, he would rip their skin off and wear it. That's how he would basically keep his body from decaying all the time. So yeah, that is the story of Malchiah and how Kain made vampires. So you can determine how much of the gift is given to Kain's children based on how strong they are. And you can, from that turn, you can understand how much of Kain's soul is with them. It's a fun little side note. Howdy. And obviously, Malchiah's children, given the same, the fledglings, here we go, were born in a very similar way as Raziel and Duma were. So, since these ones were made by Malchiah, they are very much decaying, rotting corpses. So yeah. And they could prevent the decay by staying underground, which is why you'll find them buried, while they're able to burrow through the ground quickly. It was their method of preventing decay. Either way, that's where we're going to end it. I hope you all enjoyed this set. I'll see you next time where we continue on from here. Well, not from here, but, you know, from my original start. So I'll see you guys next time. But till then, as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.